Hello Year 7, this is Mr. Caesar. I hope you're well and having a lovely day. So today your title is Village History, so please could you write the date and title in your book. Then could you answer the do now. So can you identify the places on this slide and why do you think people want to visit them? So please could you pause the recording for 5 minutes to answer those questions. Okay, so the places on the slide, we've got Stonehenge, Hever Castle, the Roman Baths in Bath, Hampton Court Palace and Leeds Castle. Okay, so you have 10 minutes now to read this extract from A History of Freckleton, an imaginary village, and to answer the questions below. So I'll read it through with you. During the Tudor and Stuart period, the village was dominated by the Sharples family, but their influence ended in 1803. Freckleton was then largely run by the community itself. There was no manorial lord, a relatively unusual state of affairs for anywhere in England 250 years ago. One of the results of this communal responsibility was that Freckleton developed quite differently from neighbouring townships. So I'd like you to answer the following questions. What type of language is used in the extract? For instance, is it formal, informal, factual? In your opinion, does the extract tell us what the writer feels about the village, or is it neutral? Give reasons for your answer. And then finally, list 3 types of information included in this extract to make it seem believable, for example, facts and statistics. So please pause the video for 10 minutes to answer those questions. Okay, so in terms of the type of language, you've got a formal tone. It's not colloquial, it's not informal, lots of proper language being used. It's clear and factual and it's non-biased. So it doesn't have a particular leaning towards it. It's just very factual, very straightforward. Okay, so there's a neutral tone, as we talked about before. The language that is used does not suggest that the writer has any opinion on Freckleton, and uses non-biased language to appear factual. So in terms of different types of information, you've got key dates for the town, facts, names of influential families, and discusses how the village sustains itself. So please could you take a moment to check your answers and make sure you got everything on the slide written down. What I'd like you to do next is to plan your village history. So think of one major historical event that took place in your village. It might be a battle, a disaster, or the building of something important. It might be the birth of someone famous, an invention, or a visit from a celebrity. Once you've decided on the historical event, I would like you to fill in the mind map below. So what was the actual event? Why was the event significant? Where in the village did it take place? Why did it happen? When did it take place? Who was involved and who was affected? So please pause the video for 15 minutes to do this, but before you do, I'd like you to look at the next slide for inspiration. So on this slide, which I've entitled Historical Help, I've noted down some key rulers and significant events. So please do read through this information to inspire you for your own historical event. So please read through this and then take the 15 minutes to fill out the mind map. Okay, so you are now going to write your own extract, informing the village about an important historical event that took place in or around the village. Remember to include the following informative features to make your writing sound factual: dates, times, names of places, and names of people. So during the 19th century, when Queen Victoria reigned, the village was dominated by the North family, but their influence ended in 1925. Horsellgate was then largely run by the community itself until Monday the 21st of May, 1935, when the Battle of Mosser Field commenced. Led by Harvey Harman, the Battle of Mosser Field was caused by territory, with Horsebreaker and the villages of Speckleton believing Horsellgate belonged to them. The village suffered tremendously at the hands of this battle, with livestock, crops, and homes being destroyed. Approximately 25,000 people lost their lives across the 5 years of fighting for their village's freedom. Okay, so that's your example extract. So please could you pause the video for 20 minutes or so to write your own. Okay, so this is an annotated example. You've got information on how the village ran sustained itself, wider historical information with key dates and rulers, event named and dated, explanation for the event, and facts to make the piece more formal and realistic. So can you please compare this to what you've written, and if there's something you think is lacking or a way to make it better, please do that now. Right, thank you very much for your work today. That's now the end of today's lesson. I'm hoping you're really enjoying creating your own villages, characters and histories. We're going to be continuing on with this for the rest of the half term, so there's plenty more for you to design. So thank you again for your hard work, and I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.